I got clouds as far as the eye can see in every direction. So there's a good possibility that it rains today. One of the weather stations is saying it's a 25% chance, and another one is saying that it's a 75% chance. I do have a nice cool breeze too. So, when I take a look at it, I think it's gonna rain. And if it rains, I can bring new calves out here. I can actually increase the stocking density of this field as long as it's cool outside. And as long as I have some water, I can bring some more cattle out here. I can increase the stocking density of this field. And if it doesn't rain, I can load up 3 of the calves tomorrow and take them to the sale barn and buy new calves on Monday. So that's the big idea. I'm not sure if it's gonna rain. The weather channel says, a couple of the weather channels, I got 2 different weather channels, and one saying it's gonna rain, one saying it's not gonna rain. So I'm not sure what's going on. It does look like it's gonna rain. From what I see, it does look like it's gonna rain. If it doesn't rain, I can just load up some calves tomorrow morning, and I can load up 3 calves tomorrow morning, take them to the sale barn, and go and buy 6 or 7 more, buy 5 or 6 more. I can go and buy 5 more. I still got to pay for this grain. So if I sell 3 and I buy 5, if I sell 3 and I buy 4, something like that, I'll be able to pay for the grain. And even if I only pay for half the grain, if I sell 3 and I buy 5, and I pay for whatever 70% of the grain, and the remaining balance I can sell, I can pay for the remaining balance in a couple of weeks when I sell 3 more cattle, right? When I sell 2 or 3 more cattle, so it's not a real big deal. And so yeah, right now I think it's gonna rain. I got clouds everywhere. I mean, I got clouds in every direction. I don't and I got clouds as far as the eye can see in every direction. So the animal that was sick does look like he's doing a little bit better. His appetite has definitely improved. And so, yeah, that's very fortunate. It does look like he's doing better. He is definitely eating a lot of food today. He's eating more food today than he was yesterday. Today, when I brought the food in today, he was standing at the bunk waiting. So that's a good sign. If they're standing at the bunk waiting for food, that's a sign that their appetite is good. And so that's very fortunate. As long as his appetite is good, that's you don't want to be in a situation where you have an animal that's sick and the animal's just laying on the ground. If that's happening, it's pretty much it's pretty much too late. If the animal's just laying on the ground and not getting up and has no appetite, that's very bad. Chances are you can't really do anything about that. And this animal right here, all of these animals have had their vaccination shots. All right, some of them have had a intranasal as well as their vaccination injections. And so a lot of these, actually all of these animals have been vaccinated, and they've been vaccinated for effectively everything. Not everything, but a lot of stuff. They've been vaccinated with blackleg. They've been vaccinated with bovine respiratory. They've been dewormed, and they've all had 2 rounds of it. I'm not exactly sure if every single last one of them has had 2 rounds of it, but I can say a majority of them have had 2 rounds of injectable vaccinations, and effectively all of them had at least 2 dosages. So they've had 1 intranasal and 1 injection. So that would be 2 rounds of bovine respiratory, right? One would be a modified live and one would be a killed vaccine. And so, they've all had multiple rounds of vaccinations. If I catch the illness pretty quick, a lot of these animals, once they're at this point in their life, they're not going to get sick anymore. And even if they do get sick, if I catch it early and I give them a shot of antibiotics, they usually square away pretty fast. They usually turn around pretty fast. And so, the animals, he should be okay. I mean, he should be okay. But if sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, and sometimes they get something real bad, and who knows what happens, and who knows what happened, and then the animal dies. So every once in a while that does happen. But the animal should be okay. He's had multiple rounds of vaccinations. I caught the illness early. The first day that I caught him looking sick, The sign of illness was that he just wasn't eating, and he was just kind of sitting there, and he wasn't looking good. And so I roped him, and I gave him a shot of Macrocin. And it's been 2 days, and this morning, when I got out here this morning, he was the complete opposite, right? He was standing at the bunk waiting for food, and so that's very good. The first day when I saw that he was sick, he was not eating he was not interested in the food hardly at all. I mean, he took a couple of nibbles and then he walked away. And you know, yesterday I could tell that he was eating more food, and today he was actually at the bunk waiting. When I showed up, he walked up to the bunk and just stood there waiting for the food. So that's a visible sign of improvement. Yeah, but if it rains tomorrow or if it rains today, I'll bring out more calves over here. I'll bring more calves out over here. And if it doesn't rain, I will liquidate a couple of calves. I will liquidate 3 calves tomorrow, and I'll go and buy some more on Monday. And the whole thing about the monetary situation that I'm in, okay? And maybe if I speak about this in a you know, just from a personal perspective, maybe if I speak about this from a personal perspective, you know, it'll just it just is what it is, right? And so my whole thing about money right now is that I am looking to pay myself about $14,000, right? I reasonably anticipate that when I liquidate my 5 calves, I'll make somewhere between 12 and 14 grand, something like that. I'll make something, but you know, I'll make around $12 to $14,000. But this is the whole thing about money. You know, unless I'm gonna do something with it, it's not gonna do anything. And if it's not a good time to invest money, then I might as well wait until it is a good time to invest money. And you know, I can always have my excitement, you know, in a couple of weeks, right? I mean, you know, I don't, the whole thing about schedules and oh my God, I have to do something that, you know, I can do whatever I want, okay? You know, this is my business. I can do whatever I want, more or less. I can, you know, when I say I can do whatever I want, I'm not saying that like I can go and like start doing drugs and buy myself 5 Lamborghinis and buy myself a mansion, you know, and if, you know, I'm not saying stuff like that, but I mean, more or less, like if I want to sell 5 animals in 2 weeks, right? And, you know, if I want to buy you know, my whole thing is like right now, you know, by next month, you know, like if it does take me a month to, whatever, get everything squared away, all of the animals that I have on the preconditioning field right now, all of those animals, I can bring them all out here, right? I've already had them for a month. They've, you know, I've already had a majority of them for at least 3 weeks, right? And if it takes me a month to get everything squared away, then what does it matter? You know, the whole thing about schedules and I don't care. Okay, I'm not on a tight schedule. I can do whatever I want. If I want to sell 5 calves this month, then I can. If I feel like it's a better idea to sell them next month, then I can sell them next month. And you know, and if it ends up that I don't sell any this month and I sell 10 next month, and I go and I buy 20 new ones, then I can do that too. It doesn't matter, right? Well, what does it matter, right? I mean, if I have an empty preconditioning facility, if I do get some rain over here, right? If I do get some rain over here, which I probably will, okay, I got multiple chances of it raining over the next 7 days. I got like 3 or 4 chances of it raining over the next 8 or 9 days, okay? And you know, if I get some rain out here and the weather's cool and I got some clean water, you know, I have enough, you know, biomass accumulation out here. And if I don't have enough biomass accumulation, I can just fertilize the grass. What does it matter, right? The weather conditions will be good for growing grass, and the grass will be good enough to feed the animal about 90% of their diet. Now, I can feed 90% of the animal their diet in grass, and I can supplement them with a little bit of grain and just put a little bit extra weight on them, right? I mean, what does it matter? No, it doesn't matter, right? It's all trivial, right? This is the thing. It's like it's all trivial. I mean, even if you know, because here's the thing. Like, let's say that I did, you know, I was like, oh my God, I have to follow the schedule. Oh my God, if I don't follow the schedule, then, right, you know, whatever. And I went and I sold my 5 animals and I brought home 14 grand, right? Well, then what am I going to do with that? Am I just going to sit there and look at the money? What's the point? I mean, you know, what am I going to do with that? The only reason for me to bring home more money right now is to grow my business, okay? And if I'm not going to grow my business, there is legitimately, I don't need the money. The money's not going to do anything. I might as well just wait, okay? Because if I wait, I mean, at least my investment grows, okay? If I wait 2 weeks, these animals will put on like another 50 pounds. They'll put on another 40 pounds, all right? So I might as well just wait, all right? And if it comes down to it, next month, right? next month when the when I take a look at it and I say, oh, I got some good weather conditions and I have a lot of grass out here, or whatever happens, whatever, right? When I see an opportunity, I will invest. And if I believe that it's a better outcome if I wait. If I believe that it's better that I wait, then I'll wait. I mean, what does it matter? Either way, the money's not going to do anything. And my whole thing with my business, right? Like when I talk about my business, the thing about my business is that I don't think I will have any problems. I will not have any issues. It won't be difficult for me to increase the size of my business by 500%. I don't think I will have any difficulty about it. I don't think I will have any difficulty with that. Increasing the size of my business by 500%. More or less, I may have a couple of whatever, a couple of speed bumps here and there, but I don't think it'll be that difficult. And even now, I effectively make enough money to where it doesn't matter, okay? And even if I was going to grow my business just by reinvesting my earnings, I mean, we're talking about, me growing my business by like 60, 80, like 70%. All right, every 7 months, and that would be with me just reinvesting my earnings, right? And if I use debt and I leverage against the balance sheet, which I would prefer to do, because the whole thing is, if I sell 5 animals and I make enough money to buy 11, right? I sold 5 and I made enough money to buy 10, right? And I used whatever. I used 1 animal worth of money to to whatever, right? Put gasoline in my truck and pay for some fertilizer and buy a half a load of grain, right? Whatever, right? And so I sold 5 and I had enough money to buy 10. I sold 5 and I had enough money to buy 9. That's still an 80% return on my money. And I would be able to do that by just reinvesting my profits. So what does it matter, right? And my whole thing about my business is that I legitimately make enough money in 1 month to pay for 2 years of my expenses. When you take a look at my business, it's just me. I don't have any employees. It's just me, 1 truck, 1 tractor. I live in a double wide. It's very difficult, and this is also, it's very difficult to go bankrupt. All right, like I would have to start doing drugs. I would have to start gambling. I would have to, whatever. I would have to like have 50 girlfriends to go bankrupt. All right, I legitimately make enough money in 1 month to pay for 2 years of my expenses, and my money, the money that I make on a monthly basis, is going up all the time. And I actually believe that I will not have any issues growing my business by 500%. I don't think it'll even be that hard. And my whole thing is like, I wouldn't bet against me, okay? If you're going to bet against me, the whole thing about it is like, why don't you go and bet on yourself, right? And when it comes down to it, if you think you can do better than me, I'd love to see it, right? Talk is cheap. All right, talk is cheap. Let's see it. All right, a lot of you can't even handle having $1,000. Most people can't handle money. This is something that I discuss all the time. Most people cannot handle money. A lot of people, you give them even $100, and the next thing you know, they're bankrupt. They went on some magical journey. Next thing you know, they're buying themselves a bunch of beer, right? And a lot of people, most people cannot handle money. All right, and that's the whole thing about it, is that it's just whatever, right? I mean, I can legitimately buy anything on the planet already. It doesn't matter. Even right now, I'm looking to pay myself 14 grand, but I'm not paying myself the money because there is nothing that I would do with it. So why would I pay myself the money? Why would I pay myself 14 grand, right? Why would I do that? Am I just going to sit there and look at it? And I mean, am I going to go on a magical journey? What's the point, right? There is no reason for me to have the money. I'm not concerned about it. The only reason that I would look to have more money right now is if I could grow my business. All right? And if it's going to rain 3 inches in the next week, then that's not exactly an ideal situation for me to grow my business, right? So I might as well wait. Because if I wait, at least my investments will grow, right? At least my investments will grow in value. And next month, when I see a break in the weather, when I see an opportunity to do so, I could sell 10 calves next month and buy 20 and precondition 20 calves on my preconditioning facility, right? I can bring all the calves on the preconditioning facility out here, and then I can just Bring home 20 new ones next month. What does it matter? It's all the same thing. It's all the same difference to me. I have zero need for more money. I don't need more money. The only reason I would need more money right now is if I was going to legitimately grow my business, and I'm not going to be growing my business, right? I mean, I have to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait until this weather passes, and then I will grow my business. All right? And I don't think I will have any difficulties. I'm not like being an arrogant prick about it. I'm just saying, let's look at this from a very just legitimate, logical standpoint. I don't think I will have any issues growing my business by 500%. Let's say it takes me 9 months. I've been saying it's going to take me about 7 months to do it, but let's say that it takes me 9 months. What does it matter? What does it matter? Plans are not for perfection, right? I've always said that plans are not for perfection. They're just to give a direction. And when it comes down to it, it's whatever, right? I mean, what if it takes me 9 months? It doesn't matter, right? What if I don't sell 5 animals this month and I sell them next month? Right? Then it doesn't matter, all right? What does it matter? It doesn't, okay? It's all the same difference. The money's not going to make a difference anyway, okay? I already make such a large amount of money that it doesn't matter. It's all negligible already. If I legitimately needed money, I could sell a couple of my animals, all right? But I was thinking about that over the last day. And it's like, what does it matter if I don't sell 5 animals this month? What does it matter? Okay? I don't have any financial problems. I don't need any more money. What does it matter? And my whole thing about my business, is that I don't think I'll have any. I'm not like being arrogant about it. I'm not being a prick about it. I'm not, whatever. I'm not selling my soul to the devil for money. All right. I'm in the beef cattle business. And I don't think I will have any difficulties growing my business by 500%. I don't think I'll have any difficulty growing my business by 500%. And even today, I make enough money to where it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. And my whole thing, it's like if you're going to bet against me, why don't you just take that effort and go and bet on yourself, okay? I'm not some doofus, right? I'm not like some idiot. I'm not like in some wonky business. My whole thing is I'm in the commodity cattle business. I'm just one dude, one truck, one tractor, and I live in a double wide. I make enough money in 1 month of my business to pay for 2 years of my expenses. Do you know how much money I would have to lose to go bankrupt? Right? I mean, I legitimately make enough money. And here, guess what? The big kicker. My income, the amount of money that I'm making is going upwards very quickly. I actually believe that legitimately, I'm not being a doofus about it. I'm not being an arrogant prick about it. I don't think I will have any difficulties growing my business by 500%. Even if it takes me 9 months, what does it matter? I don't think I will have any difficulties growing my business, right, by 500%. I don't think it'll even be that hard. I don't even think it'll be difficult. I can do it. I would bet that I can do it. And it won't even be like some life and death struggle. It'll just be me just running my business. It's whatever. And even if I only reinvested the money back into my business and I grew my business like that, I mean, we're realistically talking about even just that would give me like a 80% growth on a 7-month basis. I mean, and my whole thing about that's me reinvesting my profits back into my business, right? So what does it matter? I mean, money's already trivial to me. It's already trivial. I can already effectively buy anything. I would reasonably anticipate that I can grow my whatever, my income or whatever you want to call it. I can grow the amount of money that I make by 500%. It won't even be that difficult. It won't even be that it's whatever. But money's already trivial. It's already trivial. Like right now, if I went and I brought home $14,000 and I was like, oh my God, I have to follow this schedule and I have to sell 5 animals this month. And it's whatever. I don't have to sell 5 animals this month. Okay. I can sell 10 animals next month and I can bring all my animals from the preconditioning facility out here. Right. And then I can just bring home 20 new calves. Right. I can sell 10 next month, buy 20, bring the animals that I have at the preconditioning facility all out here, put them on some grass. They'll be good to go, right? I could do that. That's also a possibility, right? So what does it matter? It doesn't matter. The money's trivial anyway. It's whatever. And but that's that's the whole thing about my financials, right? When I talk about my financials, I talk about my business and the way that I set up my business and my financials, right? It's kind of the whole thing about a lot of it's just the thing about money. It's cool to not be worried about money, okay? It's not cool to have a Lamborghini if you're going to be concerned about paying for your Lamborghini. It's not cool to have a mansion if you're going to be concerned about paying for your mansion. If you're concerned about, if you're concerned about money, even if there is the slightest part of you that is concerned about money, that's not good. All right, that's your whatever, your thought process, warning you that you're making bad choices. All right, that's like the that's like your deep, your mind, right, telling you that maybe you need to make better monetary choices. All right, if you are concerned about money at all, that's not good. Okay, that's not good. Something went horribly wrong, and you should take a look at it. All right. If you're, not being worried about money is what's cool, okay? Having 50 girlfriends in a Lamborghini and living in a McMansion is not cool, okay? Not being worried about money, and when I talk about not being worried about money, I'm not talking about going on some YOLO adventure and putting a trip to Hawaii on a credit card and then just saying, oh my God, well if I'm gonna be broke anyway, then I might as well be poor. That's not cool, all right? My financial situation, I make enough money in 1 month to effectively cover 2 years of my expenses. Very soon it'll be 2 years. Right now, maybe it's about 1. I make enough money in 1 year, or I make enough money in 1 month worth of my earnings for 1 month to pay for an entire year of expenses. And my income is going up very quickly. My income, the amount of money that I make is going up very quickly. I would anticipate that I do not have any issues growing my business by 500%. Even if it takes me a little longer than I thought, what does it matter? Maybe I even get there a little sooner than I thought. What does it matter? It doesn't, okay? And so, and the whole thing about me buying land next year, and I've thought about this, is that I'm just going to buy whatever I need. All right, if I need 100 acres, I'll buy 100 acres. And the whole thing about land is that land is effectively free to me. I'm not concerned about land because if I buy a piece of land, chances are I'm going to run cattle on it. And if I run cattle on it, I can make my money back, right? I can pay for the land. I can float the debt by running the cattle on the land. So what does it matter? It's effectively free. And, and the whole thing is, like, until I have enough money to buy the house that I want, or I may even find the house that I want, right? I mean, the whole thing about the house that I want was that I actually found the house, the house that, the house that I looked at, it was a very nice house. It was a very nice house. It didn't even cost a lot of money. And maybe I find another house later on down the line where I take a look at it and I'm like, man, this is the house that I would like to buy. This is the house that I want. And maybe I just buy it, right? Who knows? I mean, and if I can't find it, maybe I just build it. Right, but that's also the thing. Is like, when I was looking for properties and buying when I was buying my field, I actually went and visited a house, to take a look at it, and that house was very, that house was very nice. I liked that house. It was a wonderful house, and and to this day, I think about having a house like that. And so, but maybe I find a house like that, and I just buy it. I don't have to build it. Who knows? What does it matter, right? But, if I need 100 acres, then I'll just buy 100 acres and I'll farm the 100 acres and I will cash flow the property. And if I cash flow the property and later on down the line, if I, until I find the house that I really want, like, I'm like, this is the house that I'm looking to buy. Or, I can build it myself if that's what I just, if I find some builder and I'm like, these people can build the house for me. Until that happens, I'm not going to buy a house, okay? Until that happens, I'm not going to buy a house. If I find something that I'm like, this is the house, then I'll buy it. Until then, I'm not going to buy a house. And so chances are I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna buy myself a piece of land somewhere around here. Maybe 10 minutes down the street, I'll buy myself a piece of land, and it'll probably be about 100 acres, and I'll build my own barn on it, and I will, do everything right. I'll run electricity to the barn, and I'll set up a new preconditioning facility for the calves, and I'll do all that good stuff, right? But until I find the house that I'm like, this is the house, I'm not gonna buy it. All right. Until I find a house that this is like this is the house, I'm not even gonna build it. All right. I don't want to build a house and then just be like, I don't really, really like the house. I don't want to be in that situation. I do know that at one point in my life, I did, look at a house and I was like, this is an incredible house. And I would, if I had this house, I would be a happy camper. And if I find a house like that, then I'll buy it. But chances are, up until then, I'll just buy myself land. And I'm not looking to leverage myself to the eyeballs, okay? I'm not looking to, buy the most that I can. I don't care about the most that I can buy. I'm looking to buy whatever I need, all right? I'm looking to buy whatever it is that I need, and that's it. And so that's my whole thing about a house. Until I find the one, I'm not going to buy it. And so, or I'm not going to build it. If I find somebody that can build a very nice house, and then I'll do it. But up until then, it's not I'm not gonna buy a house. I'll probably just buy land. But I legitimately, I don't think I'll have any problems growing my business by 500%. I don't even think it'll be that difficult. Even right now, I'm taking a look at it, and I'm like, I could pay myself about $14,000 right now. I'm actually looking to pay myself about $14,000 right now, but what does it matter if I don't pay myself $14,000 this month, but I pay myself $28,000 next month? It's all the same difference, right? And if I don't, I could always, bring all the calves out here. Like if it legitimately takes me until next month to get everything squared away, then I can just bring all my calves out here, right? I can take all my calves off the preconditioning field, bring them out here, sell my 10 off of here, and then just take the money and go buy 20 more and put 20 at the preconditioning facility, right? It's all the same difference to me. What does it matter? And that would be me just reinvesting my profits. That would be me growing my business by just reinvesting my profits, all right? I wouldn't even be using any debt. And I do anticipate that I will be using debt by early next year. And, I'm just going to be honest about it. I'm just going to be straightforward. The whole thing about this is that I'm not bragging about it. I'm not whatever about it. I'm just being completely straightforward, truthful about this. All right, I don't, the whole thing about it, like, if you have a bunch of opinions and you have nothing to show for it, first of all, you're allowed to have your opinion. You are. All right, nobody cares about your opinion, but you're still allowed to have it. All right. If you died tomorrow, it would, if every single last one of you watching whatever, my YouTube or whatever, if every single last one of you died, it wouldn't mean anything to me. I don't care. All right, I'm being serious about it. When I show you what I do, I'm not asking for opinions, all right? I'm just saying it is what it is. I do very well, and like when I say this stuff, all right, I'm not asking for opinions. I'm not bragging about it. I'm not selling my soul to the devil. I'm not being a malicious person. I'm not whatever about it. I'm just being truthful about it. I make a metric crap load of money. I'm serious. I make a lot of money. All right. And I do very well for myself. When you watch me run my business, when you watch me discuss the ideas of my business, just understand that I make a legitimate metric crap load of money. And my whole thing is I don't think I will have any difficulty growing my business by 500%. I don't think it'll even be that difficult. And if it comes down to it, if that's all I can do is just grow my business by 500% and I don't think that I can do any more, and even right now, even if I didn't grow my business by 500%, I could easily grow my business by 200%. Right? I mean, I could easily do that. And even right now, I am legitimately sitting here in a situation where I'm looking to pay myself $14,000, but I'm not doing it because I don't need the money. That's the situation that I'm in right now. All right? I could easily double the size of my business. I already make enough money to where money is a trivial thing for me. I don't think I'll have any problems even growing my business by 500%. All right? I'm serious. I make a metric crap load of money. When you watch me run my business, you need to understand that it just is what it is. I make a metric crap load of money. I don't care if you died. All right? Your opinions don't mean anything to me. And for the right person, maybe this is your one opportunity. This may legitimately, for a majority of you, this may be the only opportunity you ever get to see anybody do this well financially, and you get to see it in clear detail. My whole thing is that when I run my business, I don't have like some board, right? I don't have like investors in my company that if I say something wrong, they're going to get upset with me. I don't care if you get upset with me. I don't care if you died. All right, have fun. I don't care. I don't want anything from anybody. Anybody. I don't care if you're going to give me $500 million. I don't care. All right, if you die tomorrow, it wouldn't mean anything to me. All right, the thing, trust me, I don't care. Nobody's paying me to do anything. If you died today, it wouldn't mean anything to me. Also understand that for the right person, this may be what shows how it's done, right? For the right person, this may be what lights the light bulb. I cannot help everybody. I'm not looking to be anybody's friend. I don't care. I'm not looking to be anybody's friend. I don't care if you died. But for the right person, for one person, even if it's only for one other person, this might be your one opportunity to see it. And for a majority of you, you will never get to see anything like this ever again. I make such a metric crap load of money that it's not even, it's a lot. Like a 0.000000001 percentile type situation financially. I don't think I will have any problems growing my business by 500%. Even right now, I'm looking to pay myself 14 grand, but I'm not doing it because I don't need the money. All right? I can have my excitement next month or in 2 weeks or whenever, when when the weather has passed and I liquidate the animals. I can go and have my excitement then. What does it matter, right?